Greetings, Lore Masters. Tonight our chronicle covers not the High Kings or the Daedric Princes, but the unsung heroes and burdens of our journey, the most useful companions in the land of Skyrim. We see the world through the Dragonborn's eyes, feel the crunch of snow under their boots as a dragon wheels overhead, and stare into the black maw of a dungeon entrance, knowing we must enter. But let's be honest, you're not carrying 40 dragon bones, 3 sets of plate armour, and Meridia's beacon without a little help. The true heroes are the ones walking 10 paces behind, grumbling about burdens while carrying enough Dwemer scrap to rebuild a city. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Go ahead and post your location and local time in the comments below. It's always fascinating to see where in Tamriel, or on Earth, everyone is tuning in from. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Our story begins not in a fortress or a college, but in the sleepy, misty village of Riverwood. This is often the Dragonborn's first real sanctuary after the terror of Helgen, a place of tall pines, the smell of fresh-cut lumber, and the gentle roar of the White River. And here, among the chickens and the sawmills, our chronicle of utility finds its first and perhaps most infamous subject. His name is Faendal. He's not a warrior of renown. He's not a mage of great power. He's a bosmer, a wood elf, and a lumberjack. An occupation that for his people is a profound religious irony. He spends his days working the mill for Gerda and Hod, but his mind is elsewhere. He is locked in a petty, juvenile feud with the local bard Sven, both of them vying for the affection of Camilla Valerius, the sister of the local general goods store owner Lucan. This simple love triangle is the key that unlocks one of the most powerful exploits in the early game. The Dragonborn, fresh from the chaos of Helgen, stumbles into this drama. Faendal, recognising an outside hand, will ask this stranger to deliver a fake insulting letter to Camilla, pretending it's from Sven. Sven, of course, will ask the same, offering a letter to frame Faendal. Let us assume the Dragonborn sides with the archer. They deliver the fraudulent note. Camilla is incensed at Sven's supposed arrogance, and Faendal is overjoyed. His reward? His loyalty. He will follow the Dragonborn to the ends of the earth, or at least until his level cap of 30. But more importantly, he offers to share his skills. Faendal is an adept level trainer in archery, capable of training the Dragonborn all the way to skill level 50. This is the core in-game fact that defines him, and this is where the utility transcends mere companionship. The Dragonborn can ask Faendal to train them. He does so, and the Dragonborn pays him the required septims. Then, immediately the Dragonborn asks to trade equipment with him, and there, in Faendal's inventory, alongside his simple bow and the clothes on his back, is every single coin just paid to him. The Dragonborn simply takes it back. This process can be repeated over and over until their archery skill hits 50. This is, without question, the single greatest boost a new character can receive. Archery is a notoriously slow skill to level legitimately, but with Faendal's help, a brand new adventurer can become a deadly sniper before they've even visited Whiterun. This exploit is the cornerstone of the fan community debate surrounding Faendal. Is it cheating? Is it an immersion-breaking abuse of a poorly coded mechanic? Or is it a clever intended reward for solving his quest? Fans are split. Some argue it robs the game of its progression, making the early dungeons trivial. Others, especially veterans on a 10th playthrough, see it as simply skipping the grind. The game, after all, allows it. There is no patch from Bethesda that fixes Faendal. He remains eternally a walking ATM that teaches you how to shoot. His love for Camilla is so strong, he's willing to commit mail fraud, and in return he gives you the keys to the kingdom, one gold piece at a time. It's a strange transaction, one that fundamentally alters the balance of the game. For this reason alone, Faendal makes this list. He's not just a pack mule, he's an academy, a shortcut to power that Sven, with his incessant loot playing, could never hope to match. But what of Faendal himself? As a follower, he is adequate. For the early game, an archer is a blessing. He stays back, or at least he tries to. Like many followers, his AI plaything can be a beautiful disaster, and he has a strange love for pulling out his dagger and charging a Draugr overlord. But when he does remember his calling, he is a solid source of range damage, plinking away at bandits while the Dragonborn draws their attention. His true peculiarity, however, lies in his very existence as a Bosmer lumberjack. This is our obscure lore tidbit. The Bosmer of Valenwood live under the Green Pact, a strict religious code. They cannot harm any plant life in their homeland. They are carnivores, forbidden from eating any plant-based food. More darkly, the pact demands they consume their fallen enemies in ritualistic cannibalism. This is the meat mandate. Now Faendal is in Skyrim, far from the jungles of Valenwood, so perhaps the pact's rules are relaxed. But the community often muses on this. Is Faendal an outcast? A heretic? Or does he simply ignore the foundational beliefs of his people to live a simple life? Does he look at the bandits he and the Dragonborn cut down with a hunger he can't quite explain? It adds a layer of quiet, dark comedy to his character. This simple, lovesick elf might just be a practicing cannibal who weeps internally for every tree he fells at the sawmill. His usefulness, however, has a strict time limit. That level 30 cap is a hard wall. As the Dragonborn begins to master their Thuum, fight dragons, and delve into ancient Dwemer ruins, Faendal's stats simply can't keep up. His health pool becomes a liability. His arrows, once deadly, become minor annoyances to high-level foes. He will be downed constantly, forcing the Dragonborn to babysit him in every major fight. He is the quintessential starter follower. His true purpose is not to see the Dragonborn defeat Alduin. His purpose is to prepare them for that journey. He is a tool, a stepping stone, a living exploit that transforms the Dragonborn from a desperate refugee into a lethal marksman. Once his training is complete, he is often politely dismissed, sent back to Riverwood to resume his hopeless pursuit of Camilla, blissfully unaware that he just funded his friend's rise to godhood. He is useful not for who he is, but for what he enables. And in the harsh, early days of a new life in Skyrim, that utility is priceless. Once Faendal is returned to his simple life of lumber and unrequited love, the Dragonborn, now a surprisingly competent archer, follows the path north. The road opens up, the forests of Riverwood giving way to the vast, windswept tundra of Whiterun Hold. In the distance, the city itself rises, built around the great green-roofed mead hall of Jorvaska, and culminating in the imposing silhouette of Dragon's Reach, a palace said to have once held a dragon captive. It is here, after warning Jarl Balgruuf the Greater of the dragon's return, and after retrieving a mysterious stone from a bleak, Draugr-infested ruin, that the Dragonborn's life changes again. The first dragon is slain. The sky opens. The Greybeards shout their summons from High Hrothgar. And in recognition of this service, Jarl Balgruuf bestows upon this stranger the title of Thane. It is a moment of great ceremony, and with this title comes a new responsibility, a privilege, in the Jarl's words. He gestures, and a woman in full steel armour, her dark hair pulled back, steps forward. Her name is Lydia. She faces the new Thane, her voice a monotone of pure, unwavering duty, and utters the 10 words that will define their relationship, and indeed, the very concept of followers for an entire generation of players. I am sworn to carry your burdens, and she will carry them. Oh, how she will carry them. This is her core in-game fact, the very essence of her being. Lydia is the archetype. She is the walking, talking, occasionally complaining storage chest. She is the designated pack mule. She will carry the bones and scales of the dragons you slay. She will carry the 27 dwarven ingots you insist on hauling out of Mzincha left. She will carry the collection of skulls, the flawless gems, the potions you'll never use, and the 10 wheels of Edar cheese you're saving for a special occasion. Her utility is not subtle, like Faendal's training. It is blunt, practical, and constant. She is, for most players, their first real companion, and she sets the standard. Her inventory is a pocket dimension of pure convenience, a void into which the Dragonborn shoves the entire material wealth of a dungeon, before fast travelling back to Whiterun to sell it all to a very confused Bellathor. Her level cap is 50, a vast improvement over Faendal's 30. This makes her a viable, sturdy companion for the majority of the game. She can stand with the Dragonborn through the entire main quest, the Civil War, and well into the DLC. But to call her just a pack mule is a disservice. Lydia is a warrior class. She's a tank through and through. Her primary skills are heavy armour, one-handed, and block. Her secondary skill, surprisingly, is archery, though she will almost always default to charging in with her steel sword. Her job, as she sees it, is to be the line. She is the barrier between the Dragonborn and the swinging axe of a bandit chief. She will charge a Fulmer horde. She will attempt to trade blows with a giant, often with disastrous orbit-achieving results. For a Dragonborn specialising in magic, archery or stealth, Lydia is the perfect partner. She is the meat shield, the distraction, the loyal bulldog who takes the blows while her master lines up the perfect shot or charges the master-level spell. She is sturdy, reliable, and entirely predictable. You will never see Lydia use a clever illusion spell or summon an Atronak. You will only see her raise her shield and charge, a battle cry on her lips, ready to die, or at least take a knee, for her Thane. This, of course, brings us to the great community debate surrounding her. The Lydia problem. Is she useful, or is she just an iconic doorway-blocking liability? For every player who values her as a tank, there are 5 who have screamed in frustration as they stand trapped in a narrow Nordic tomb corridor, Lydia standing placidly in the doorway, staring at them, completely immovable. She's a master of blocking the Dragonborn's retreat. She's a savant at triggering the pressure plate you just spent 5 minutes carefully avoiding. And for a stealth-focused character, she is a walking nightmare. The Dragonborn, clad in muffled dark leather, slips into the shadows. Lydia, clanking in a full set of steel plate, follows, announcing, "I'll be right behind you," before stumbling over a pile of bones and alerting every Draugr in the crypt. Her infamous line, "Looks like you're sneaking, I'll be right behind you," is a meme for a reason. It is the sound of a perfectly planned assassination mission falling apart. Fans endlessly debate her true worth. Is she a good follower, or is she just the first? Is her nostalgic value blinding us to her profound, AI-driven stupidity? The truth is she's both. She's a flawed, deeply imperfect but utterly loyal tool. The obscure lore tidbit about Lydia lies in what it truly means to be a housecarl. In modern player-centric terms, it just means free follower. But in Nord culture, it is a title of ancient and profound honour. A housecarl is not a servant. They are a professional sworn warrior, a permanent member of a Thane's household. They are given room and board, a salary or stipend, and their life is dedicated to the protection of their Thane and their Thane's property. They are a status symbol, proof that the Thane is a person of great importance to the hold. When Lydia is assigned to the Dragonborn, she isn't just a tag-along. She's a political, social and military fixture. She is the Jarl's way of saying, this person is one of us, and they are protected. This adds a layer of tragicomedy to how she's treated. Here is this woman, a living symbol of the Dragonborn's newfound nobility, a warrior who has sworn a life oath to protect them, and we use her to carry 300 pounds of junk. Her famously flat, slightly sarcastic dialogue, "I am sworn to carry your burdens," suddenly makes a lot more sense. She's a warrior of renown, reduced to being a glorified luggage cart by a stranger who just wandered into town. In time, Lydia's utility, like Faendal's, begins to fade. That level 50 cap, once so impressive, is eventually outstripped by a dragonborn who has reached level 60, 70 or 80. Her steel armour and simple sword are no match for the ebony-clad deathlords of high-level dungeons. But unlike Faendal, she's rarely just dismissed. She's retired. She's sent back to Breezehome, the first house the Dragonborn likely ever purchased. She will live there, in that small cosy house in Whiterun, protecting it. She will sit at your table, eat your bread, and sleep in her little room. She becomes a permanent fixture, a constant. Returning to Breezehome after a long adventure to see her stand up from her chair and say, "Greetings, Thane," is a grounding, strangely comforting experience. She's a reminder of the beginning, of that first flush of excitement at being named Thane. She is the definition of useful in its most basic form. She carries your things, and she draws the enemy's fire. She is simple, she is flawed, and she is, for better or worse, the first true companion on the long, cold road of the Dragonborn. So Lydia is retired, at least for now, left to patrol the 2 floors of Breezehome and protect the Dragonborn's growing collection of mismatched armour. The Dragonborn steps back out into the bright, windy air of Whiterun's Plains district. They still need help. Dragonsreach may have provided a tank, but the world of Skyrim also demands subtlety, speed, and a certain moral flexibility. The clank, clank, clank of steel plate is a death sentence in a bandit cave for a Dragonborn who prefers the shadows. And so, they walk perhaps 30 paces from their new home, past the War Maiden's forge, and push open the heavy wooden door of the Drunken Huntsman. The air inside is warm, smelling of juniper berries, old wood, and drying pelts. Elrondir, the proprietor, nods curtly. And there, leaning against a pillar in the corner, almost blending into the shadows, is a Dunmer. She's clad in worn leather, her red eyes watching the room with a predator's calm. Her name is Janassa. She does not offer fealty. She does not speak of honour. When the Dragonborn approaches, her voice is a low, gravelly rasp. The hunter is always in need of a partner, for a modest fee, of course. That fee is 500 septims. This is her first, most immediate utility. She is not locked behind a quest line. She's not a reward from a Jarl. She is a simple, clean transaction, available to a level 1 Dragonborn if they manage to loot enough coin from the bodies at Helgen. This is the core in-game fact that defines her. Janassa is a mercenary, a ranger class, and one of the only followers in the entire game who will by default effectively dual-wield weapons. Give this Dunmer 2 swords, 2 axes, or 2 maces, and she transforms. She becomes a whirlwind of death, a living blender of steel and fury that darts in and out of combat, slicing enemies to ribbons. While Lydia's strategy is to absorb damage, Janassa's is to deal so much, so quickly, that the enemy doesn't have time to hit back. For a Dragonborn who needs a threat eliminated now, Janassa is the answer. She is the scalpel to Lydia's hammer. Her preferred skills are light armour, one-handed, and archery. She also has a high sneak skill, making her the polar opposite of the housecarl she replaces. This skill set makes her the perfect companion for the other side of Skyrim. While Lydia is the noble warrior for the Thane, Janassa is the ruthless accomplice for the Guildmaster. Her utility is specialisation. She is one of the best followers for a stealth archer. She will crouch when you crouch and stay crouched. She'll use her own bow, adding her damage to the Dragonborns, and when the fight inevitably breaks open, she draws her dual blades and becomes a bodyguard, intercepting enemies who rush the sniper's nest. But her greatest utility beyond her combat prowess is her morality. Janassa has, in the game's code, a morality value of 3. This means she is, in common parlance, down for whatever. The Dragonborn can steal, pickpocket, and assassinate with impunity. Janassa will not judge. She will not complain. She will not threaten to leave. In fact, she actively encourages it. After clearing a bandit cave, she might muse, "I love the sight of a warm body. The blood looks so bright." She is, without a doubt, a gleeful, remorseless killer. For a dragonborn walking the path of the Dark Brotherhood or the Thieves' Guild, she is the perfect partner in crime. She is the friend who doesn't just help you bury the body, she holds it down for you. This leads directly to the community debate surrounding her. Is she a top-tier follower or a fragile liability? Her level cap is 40, a full 10 levels lower than Lydia's. This means that in the very late game, against legendary dragons and high-level Draugr Death Overlords, her health pool is a significant problem. She is a glass cannon. Fans argue endlessly whether her high damage per second and moral flexibility make up for her tendency to get downed by a single, powerful blow. Many players find her dying, or at least kneeling in the bleed-out state, far too often. Others argue that this is a feature, not a bug. She forces the player to be more active in the fight to protect their DPS asset, rather than just hiding behind an invincible tank. The consensus is that she is an early to mid-game powerhouse who makes a life of crime not only possible but enjoyable. She's not an endgame follower, but she's perhaps the most useful follower for the first 40 levels of a non-warrior playthrough. Her unique, bloodthirsty dialogue provides our obscure lore tidbit. Where does this dark elf artist of the kill come from? She's not like the other Dunmer mercenaries like Teldrin Zero, who's a professional braggart. She's not a part of the Morag Tong, the official sanctioned assassins guild of Morrowind, who kill for political and legal reasons. She also shows no sign of being with the Dark Brotherhood, as she doesn't mention Sithis or the Night Mother. Her philosophy is her own. The beauty of the kill, she'll say. The spray of blood. It's art. This suggests a personal, almost spiritual connection to murder that is separate from Tamriel's major killing-for-hire institutions. This could be a personal interpretation of the Daedric Prince Mephala, the web spinner, whose spheres include not just murder and secrets, but also sex. Janassa's low, intimate voice and her obsession with the beauty of violence paint a picture of a character who finds a deep, sensual pleasure in her work. She's not just a mercenary, she's an aesthete, a connoisseur of death, who finds Tamriel's darkest crypts to be her own personal art galleries. This makes her 500 gold fee seem less like a salary and more like an admission price for her to come along and watch the show. Ultimately, Janassa's utility is about efficiency and specialisation. She represents a critical lesson for the Dragonborn. Not all followers are the same. They are not just interchangeable pack mules. They have specialties, they have personalities, they have moral codes, or a glorious lack thereof. She is the first follower the Dragonborn chooses based on their own playstyle, rather than one simply given to them. She is the difference between a blunt instrument and a sharpened blade. For the Dragonborn who intends to get their hands dirty, to loot the holds, and to rise through the ranks of Skyrim's criminal underworld, Janassa is not just useful, she is essential. She's the quiet, remorseless shadow at their side, ready to dual-wield her way through any problem the world throws at them, and to admire the bloody tapestry they leave behind. She is, for 500 gold, the most loyal and uncomplicatedly evil friend a Dragonborn could ask for. The Dragonborn's journey is one of escalating needs. They have found an archer to hone their skill. They have found a tank to bear their burdens. They have found an assassin to share in their dark deeds. But Skyrim is a land steeped in magic, and a time will come when a simple blade, no matter how sharp, is not enough. The Dragonborn will find themselves standing before a tomb filled with spectral, magic-resistant Draugr, or facing a high-level dragon priest who laughs at arrows and shrugs off sword blows. For this, they need firepower. They need a specialist. And so, they leave the bloody-minded Janassa in Whiterun and travel southeast into the dense, golden-brown forests of the Rift. They arrive in Riften. The city is a place of damp stone, built on the timbers of a rotting undercity, smelling of canal water, spoiled fish, and the desperation of the Thieves' Guild. They push open the door to the city's heart, the Bee and Barb Inn. The air is thick with the sounds of a lute, the chatter of thieves and the arguments of the local drunks. And there, standing by the bar, brimming with an almost offensive level of self-confidence, is an Imperial. His name is Mercurio. He is not a warrior, he's not a thief. He is, in his own words, an apprentice wizard. But one conversation with him reveals an ego that would make a Jarl blush. He is, to put it mildly, arrogant. He's dismissive, cocky, and believes himself to be the smartest man in any room. When the Dragonborn inquires about his services, he makes it clear he's not just any mercenary. "If you're looking for a mage, you could do far worse," he smirks. 500 septims, a bargain considering my expertise. Like Janassa, he is a simple transaction, 500 gold. But where Janassa offers a quiet, deadly blade, Mercurio offers a tactical nuclear strike. This is his core in-game fact. Mercurio is a destruction mage, and his specialty is lightning. More specifically, his signature dungeon-clearing spell is Chain Lightning. This is an expert-level spell. His claim of being a mere apprentice is either a spectacular display of false modesty or a sign that his ego is writing checks his formal qualifications can't cash. It doesn't matter. The results speak for themselves. The Dragonborn, having paid the fee, leads him to a place like Bleak Falls Barrow or any bandit-filled ruin. The moment combat begins, the Dragonborn's role in the fight changes forever. Mercurio's hands crackle with ozone. There is a sound like tearing silk, and a blindingly bright bolt of pure white-blue energy leaps from his hand and strikes a bandit. The bandit convulses, wreathed in electricity, and then the bolt jumps. It leaps from the first bandit to the second. It arcs to the third, standing on a ledge above. It hits the wolf skulking in the corner, and then, because magic in Skyrim is a famously imprecise art, it jumps to the Dragonborn. It might even hit Lydia, if she was brought along for the show. In a single, deafening crack, an entire room of enemies is either dead or dying. Mercurio is not a scalpel. He is a walking, talking, electrically charged hand grenade. His utility is raw, overwhelming, area of effect damage. For a low-level Dragonborn, hiring Mercurio is like calling in an airstrike. He will clear dungeons long before the Dragonborn has the skills or the gear to do it themselves. This leads, inevitably, to the great community debate about him. Is Mercurio the most powerful mage follower, or is he a team-killing menace? The answer is, unequivocally, yes, he is both. Chain Lightning is a fantastic spell precisely because it hits multiple targets. It is a terrible spell for a follower precisely because it hits multiple targets. Mercurio has absolutely no concept of friendly fire. He will blast the Dragonborn, their horse, their dog, their other follower, and any nearby neutral NPC with the same cheerful indifference. He will vaporize a chicken and incur a 1,000 gold bounty on the Dragonborn's head without blinking. He is a chaos engine. Players who use him must adapt. They must invest in shock resistance enchantments. They must learn to let him enter the room first, wait for the light show to die down, and then go in to clean up the smoking survivors. But his arrogance is, in a way, justified. He is that good. His level cap is 40, same as Janassa, but his raw destructive power makes every one of those levels count. His most famous line of dialogue, usually uttered when the Dragonborn tries to hand him a piece of Dwemer scrap, is a masterpiece of disdain. "I am an apprentice wizard, not a pack mule." This from a man who is literally being paid to follow the Dragonborn and do their bidding. The irony is delicious. Here is this incredibly pompous mage who sees carrying a sword as beneath him, being forced to haul 300 pounds of dragon bones and troll skulls across the tundra. The obscure lore tidbit concerning Mercurio is his very nature as a freelance mage. He's not part of the College of Winterhold. He never mentions the Archmage, or Tolfdir, or the Eye of Magnus. He also doesn't seem to be part of the Synod or the College of Whispers, the two imperial magical factions back in Cyrodiil. He is in essence a sell spell. He's a magical mercenary. This is a rare profession. Most mages seek the structure of a guild, the resources of a library, the safety of a tower. Mercurio seeks gold. His placement in Riften is perfect. It's a city of illicit deals, a place where people need problems solved. He is the magical muscle for the Thieves Guild or the mercenary for the adventurer, a man who has weaponized his academic knowledge for pure profit. He represents the magical world's gritty, capitalistic underbelly, a sorcerer who is more concerned with his next paycheck than with the fate of the world. His utility is not just in his shock magic. He is a versatile mage. He has a solid spell list that includes Fireball and Ice Storm for enemies resistant to shock. He also has restoration spells, most notably Steadfast Ward, which he will use to block incoming spells, and a healing spell, which he uses mostly on himself. Let's be clear, his first priority is always Mercurio. But a living Mercurio is a damage-dealing Mercurio, so it works out for the Dragonborn in the end. He's the first follower who truly feels like a partner, rather than a subordinate. He is loud, he is opinionated, and he is devastatingly effective. He is the cocky specialist you hire for one big, impossible job. He will complain the entire time. He will insult your armour, your choice of weapon, and the ancient tomb you've dragged him into. He will accidentally electrocute you at least 5 times. But when the final boss is dead, and the Dragonborn is standing in a room filled with nothing but piles of ash and smoking boots, Mercurio will dust off his robes and say, "Done and done. Now, about my payment." He is utility with a personality, and for 500 septims he is a destructive bargain. Mercurio's arrogance is a grating, though undeniably effective tool, but hiring sellswords and mercenaries, no matter how powerful, can feel a hollow transactional experience. The Dragonborn, flush with gold from electrically charred dungeons, may begin to crave something more. Not an employee, but a comrade. Not a contract, but a bond. This desire for true fellowship, for a shield brother or sister, inevitably leads them back to the wind-swept plains of Whiterun. But this time, they do not climb the long stone steps to Dragon's Reach. They walk past the market, past the trunk of the dying Gildergreen, and ascend the stairs to the oldest building in the city, the great green-roofed mead hall, Jorvaska. This is the home of the companions. Inside, the air is thick with the smell of roasting meat, spilled ale, and ancient wood smoke. It is a place of boisterous, mead-swilling warriors, of boasts and brawls, and among the brawny, loud-mouthed Nords, one figure stands apart. She is not brawling. She is not boasting. She is cleaning her bow, her movements economical and precise. She wears ancient, carved Nordic armour, her face streaked with warrior's paint. Her name is Erla the Huntress. Her voice, when she finally speaks, is not a boast. It is a low, gravelly assessment. She sizes up the newcomer, a predator's calm in her eyes. Erla is the heart of the companion's true nature. She is the gatekeeper to their secret. The Dragonborn proves their worth, doing the odd jobs, clearing out bandits, and retrieving fragments of the legendary axe Wuthrad. It is Erla who takes a special interest. It is Erla who, along with the warrior Skjor, leads the Dragonborn deep into the shadows of the Underforge, a secret crypt beneath Jorvaska. It is here they reveal the truth. The inner circle of the companions are werewolves. They are lycanthropes, blessed or cursed, depending on who you ask, with the blood of Hircine, and it is Erla who orchestrates the Dragonborn's induction, offering them the blood from a silver basin, a transformation that opens a new savage path. This is her first utility. She is the gateway to a core power fantasy of the game. But her true, lasting utility comes after. Once the companion's questline is complete, Erla becomes a potential follower. And more than that, she is a core in-game fact. Erla the Huntress is a master-level trainer in archery, she can train the Dragonborn's archery skill all the way to level 90. For the player who met Faendal back in Riverwood, this is the logical, staggering next step. Faendal's free training got them to level 50, a respectable skill level. Ella takes them from a skilled archer to a legendary marksman, a true master of the bow. And just like the lovesick Bosma, Ella has the same flaw in her code. The Dragonborn can ask her to train them. They pay her the thousands of septims required for those high expert level skill ups. And then, just as they did with Faendal, they ask to trade items with her. And there, in her inventory, is every single coin they just gave her. They simply take it back. She is, in effect, Faendal 2.0, a game-breaking exploit that allows the Dragonborn to max out one of the most powerful skills in the game for free. Her level cap is 50, making her a robust and deadly companion for the long haul. She's a ranger class, specialising in archery, light armour, and sneak. She is, quite simply, one of the best stealth archer companions in the game precisely because she understands the assignment. She will stay back, she will crouch, and she will use her bow, adding her own lethal volleys to the Dragonborns. But Ella is far more than just a trainer. Her entire character is a window into an obscure lore tidbit that the game itself seems conflicted about. The harbinger of the companions, the wise old Kodlak Whitemane, spends his life consumed with regret. He sees the beast blood as a curse, a Daedric stain that will bar his soul from entering the Nordic afterlife of Sovngarde. He seeks a cure. Ella finds this pathetic. She is the opposite of Kodlak. She is not a reluctant werewolf. She is a zealous one. She's a true believer, a devout daughter of Hircine, the Daedric prince of the hunt. She does not see the blood as a curse, but as the ultimate gift. She lives for the chase, the transformation, the thrill of running down prey under the light of the moons. She is descended from one of the original companions who first accepted the gift from the Glen Morel witches. She doesn't just tolerate her lycanthropy, she revels in it. She is the high priestess of the old ways, the one who ensures that even if Kodlak finds his cure, the true savage heart of the companions will beat on. This intense, focused personality leads to one of the game's longest-running fan community debates. Is Erla a good spouse? The Dragonborn, after completing the companion's quest, can marry her. On the surface, she is a catch. A strong, beautiful, skilled warrior who cannot be killed by enemies, she is protected, not essential, but only the player's own hand can strike the killing blow. But in practice, she is a challenging partner. She's the ultimate low-maintenance spouse, to the point of being emotionally absent. Fans still argue whether she ever truly moves on from her previous partner Skjor, who was killed during the questline. She is not the warm, doting type. She will call the Dragonborn my love, but in the same rough, gravelly tone she uses to describe a good kill. She famously complains about any house the Dragonborn buys, finding them too soft. She's a woman of the wild, and she's a poor fit for a life of domesticity, of raising children and enchanting daggers. The debate is fierce. Is she a strong, independent warrior partner who respects the Dragonborn's power? Or is she a cold, emotionally unavailable widow who is more in love with the Daedric prince than she ever will be with her spouse? Her utility, in the end, is a trifecta of power. She is the key to becoming a werewolf. She is a top-tier stealth archer follower who can hold her own through the entire game, and she is the source of 40 free levels of archery training, taking the Dragonborn from a novice to a living legend with a bow. She is not a hired hand. She is a sister in arms, a high priestess of a savage creed who, for all her coldness, respects the Dragonborn's strength. She sees the beast inside them, and unlike everyone else in Tamriel, she is not afraid. She admires it. She offers not just her bow, but her blood. Aela the Huntress is a superb shield sister, a master archer who provides her skills for free, but she is not, strictly speaking, invincible. She is protected, which in the harsh language of the game's code means that while enemies cannot deliver the killing blow, the Dragonborn can. A stray arrow in a chaotic brawl, an overcharged fireball, a wild swing of a greatsword. And suddenly, the Dragonborn is staring at the load last save screen, filled with guilt and frustration. This is a common, wearying cycle. After reloading for the 10th time because their companion has all the self-preservation of a lemming, the Dragonborn may begin to yearn for something more, something permanent. They need a follower who can absorb a giant's club, a dragon's fire, and their own clumsy magic and simply get back up. They need a follower who is truly, fundamentally unkillable. This search for an immortal shield-bearer leads them, perhaps ironically, back to the corrupt, decaying city of Riften. They are not here for Mercurio this time. They are not looking for a cell spell. They are looking for a legend. In the Bee and Barb, or walking the streets with a fierce, determined scowl, they find Mule the lioness. She's a tall, strong Nord woman, a warrior who, unlike every other resident of the city, speaks with a jarring, almost naive righteousness. She loudly decries the Thieves' Guild. She speaks of honour, of cleansing the city, of a time when justice meant something. She's a paladin in a city of rogues, and she's utterly alone in her quest. She's also, at first, entirely uninterested in the Dragonborn. She's not a mercenary for hire. She's a woman on a mission, and she has been deeply wounded. She will tell her story to anyone who asks. She was an adventurer, like the Dragonborn, until she delved too deep into the Dwemer ruin of Mzinchaleft. Her party was slaughtered, and she was overwhelmed, her leg badly injured. She was left for dead, crawling for days, until she was found by a kind young imperial man named Erin. He brought her back to Riften and nursed her back to health, but in the ruin she lost her prized greatsword, Grimseaver. The loss of the blade she feels is the loss of her honour. This is the key. This is the core in-game fact of her recruitment. She will not follow the Dragonborn until they have proven themselves a true friend, a shield sibling. The Dragonborn must travel to Mzinchaleft, a vast, clanking and dangerous Dwemer city filled with whirring automatons and chittering Falmer. Deep in its metallic heart, past traps and a final powerful centurion, lies the blade. Returning Grimseaver to Mule is like returning her very soul. Her eyes light up, her confidence is restored, and in gratitude she pledges her sword to the Dragonborn's service, for free, for life. And this is where her ultimate utility is revealed. Mule the Lioness is one of the few followers in all of Skyrim who is marked as essential. She cannot be killed by anyone, ever. The Dragonborn can hit her with a Daedric Warhammer. A legendary dragon can breathe fire on her. A giant can launch her into the stratosphere. She will simply get down on one knee, take a moment, and then stand right back up, ready to rejoin the fight. This is her purpose. She is the ultimate indestructible tank. Her level cap is a mere 40, which is technically lower than Lydia's, but it is utterly irrelevant. Her stats do not matter. Her health pool is infinite. She is the Dragonborn's immortal bodyguard, a walking, talking, two-handed, sword-swinging decoy. For a player on legendary difficulty where enemies can kill in a single blow, Mule is not just useful, she is a necessity. She is the one you send charging into a room to draw the fire of a dozen Draugr Deathlords. She is the one who can happily and eternally trade blows with a dwarven centurion while the Dragonborn plinks away at it with a bow from a safe distance. Her utility is pure, unadulterated peace of mind. She is the end of the reload cycle. She is also morally a pure paladin. Her morality is no crime. She will not tolerate the Dragonborn stealing so much as a potato. For a heroic character, she's a perfect companion. For a criminal, she is an unusable, judgmental narc. But this incredible, game-changing utility comes with a price. A very strange, very specific price. This is the heart of the great community debate surrounding Mule. You don't just get Mule, you also get Erin, the young man who saved her. He is not a follower, he is a tag-along, a groupie. He is hopelessly, slavishly devoted to Mule, and when Mule joins the Dragonborn, Erin's home becomes wherever Mule is. If the Dragonborn marries Mule and moves her into their manor in Falkreath, Erin moves in too. He will just be there, standing in the living room, eating the Dragonborn's food, sleeping in a spare bed. He offers no combat support. He has no utility. He is just Erin. The community has obsessed over this for a decade. Is he a loyal, harmless friend? Or is he a creepy, obsessive orbiter who has inserted himself into Mule's life? The prevailing theory is that he is the latter, a nice guy who is waiting for his moment. For many players, the price of an immortal follower is having a strange, non-paying, non-fighting roommate forever. The number of mods dedicated to allowing the Dragonborn to kill, dismiss, or otherwise eliminate Erin is a testament to how deeply this debate runs. This leads to our obscure lore tidbit, a dark secret hidden not in a book, but in the game's own files. If a player opens the creation kit and looks up Erin's character data, they will find something baffling. His designated class is warrior. This is a joke. Erin has the combat stats of a common farmer. He will flee from a single wolf. He wields a simple iron dagger. Mule tells the story of how he bravely helped her while she was injured, but the evidence points to a much darker fan theory. The warrior tag is a remnant, a clue that Erin is a fraud. The theory states that he didn't save Mule from the ruin. He found her after the fight, crawling and near death on the road. He dragged her back to Riften and fabricated the entire story of his heroism to indebt this powerful, beautiful warrior to him. He is not her saviour. He is her first and most successful parasite, a weak man clinging to a strong woman under the guise of friendship. This completely recontextualizes his presence, from a minor annoyance to a sinister, manipulative leech. Mule, for all her strength and worldly travels, is blind to the quiet, domestic poison right at her side. Her utility to the Dragonborn is absolute, but she herself is being used in a far more subtle, pathetic way. Mule is a fortress. She's an unkillable, honor-bound shield maiden, a walking bastion of noisy, righteous and unwavering loyalty. She's also a lot. Her lectures on the Thieves' Guild grow tiresome. Her constant companion, Erin, grows unsettling. The Dragonborn, clad in the sleek, dark leather of a budding assassin or the muffled robes of an illusionist, may find her clanking plate armour and loud moralising to be a profound liability. The need for an immortal follower remains, but the type of follower must change. The Dragonborn needs a partner who understands the shadows, someone who values silence, someone discreet. And so, in one of the greatest ironies in all of Skyrim, their search for a quiet, stealthy partner leads them to the single loudest, most obnoxious and most unhinged person in the entire province. The encounter begins on a lonely stretch of road north of Whiterun, near the Lorius farm. A garishly coloured wagon is stopped, one wheel broken, and dancing, fretting and cackling around it is a diminutive man in a full motley jester's outfit. His name is Cicero. He's a whirlwind of manic energy, his voice a high-pitched grating whine. He begs the Dragonborn for help. He needs to get his wagon fixed. He is on a very important, very sacred mission, transporting the coffin of his dear, sweet mother to a new home. The farmer, Lorius, refuses to help, convinced Cicero is a simple-minded fool. The whole scene is bizarre. The jester is clearly mad, yet he seems earnest. The Dragonborn is given a choice. Report this strange man to a passing Legion patrol or persuade the farmer to help. This quest, Delayed Burial, is a strange, unsettling diversion. Most players help him, perhaps out of pity, or perhaps just to make the cackling stop. Cicero is overjoyed. He pays the Dragonborn and dances his way down the road, wagon and mother in tow. The Dragonborn thinks, hopes, this is the last they will see of him. They are wrong. Later, perhaps weeks or months later, the Dragonborn seeks a different kind of family. They follow the dark rumours, perform a grim ritual for a lost boy in Windhelm, and receive an invitation. They find a hidden door in the woods near Falkreath and utter the words, "Silence, my brother." They enter the Dark Brotherhood sanctuary, and there, to their absolute horror, is Cicero. He has arrived. He is the official keeper, and his mother is the desiccated corpse of the Night Mother herself, the unholy matron of the entire Assassin's Guild. He is not just a passing fool. He is a central and deeply divisive figure in this dark new family. Cicero is not immediately available as a follower. He is a problem. His manic devotion to the Night Mother grates on the sanctuary's leader, Astrid. His constant singing, dancing and giggling is a sharp contrast to the grim, professional silence of the other assassins. He is a powder keg of madness. This erupts in the quest, the cure for madness, when Cicero, believing himself to be the Night Mother's true chosen, snaps. He wounds the werewolf, Arnbjorn, nearly kills Astrid's sister, Visara, and flees. Astrid, in a rage, orders the Dragonborn to hunt him down and kill him. This is the core in-game fact of his recruitment. The Dragonborn tracks him to the long-abandoned Dawnstar Sanctuary, navigating his bizarre, maddening traps. At the end, they find him, wounded, crumpled on the floor. He begs for his life, and as the Dragonborn raises their blade, the Night Mother herself whispers, "He is not to be killed. He is my keeper. Spare him." The Dragonborn is faced with a choice. Obey Astrid and kill the Jester, or obey the Night Mother and spare him. If he is spared, he disappears for a time. But after the Dark Brotherhood questline reaches its fiery, tragic conclusion, Cicero returns to the Dawnstar Sanctuary, which is now the Dragonborn's new headquarters. He is overjoyed to serve the new listener, and here his true utility is revealed. Cicero is, like Mule, marked as essential. He cannot be killed. But he is the polar opposite of the Lioness. He is a blade class, with a level cap of 50. His primary skills are sneak, one-handed, light armour, and archery. He is, in short, the perfect unkillable assassin. He is one of the only followers in the game who's truly built for a stealth playthrough. He will crouch when the Dragonborn crouches. He will move silently. He will stick to the shadows. And when the time comes to strike, he is a blur of one-handed attacks, often giggling maniacally as he cuts a throat. He is the ultimate stealth companion, a lethal immortal ghost. This unmatched combat and stealth utility comes at a terrible, terrible price. This is the great community debate surrounding Cicero. He never shuts up. He is a non-stop stream of consciousness, a barrage of manic observations, terrible songs and unsettling giggles. "Let's kill someone," he'll sing. "Ooh, a cave, nasty, dark, but maybe treasure. Yes, treasure." Cicero is so happy. In combat, he is a terrifying whirlwind shouting, "Ye, stab, 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 stab." For many, many players, he is simply unusable. The sheer, relentless assault on the ears is enough to make them send him back to Dawnstar after a single dungeon. But for a dedicated few, he is the single best follower in the game. He is the only one with a real personality. He's not a monotone burden carrier. He's not a silent, boring tank. He's a dynamic, hilarious, and genuinely unhinged character who makes the journey an adventure. The community is, and will forever be, split between most annoying NPC in history and best follower ever made. But why is he this way? The obscure lore tidbit that explains his entire character is found in Cicero's Journal, a series of 5 volumes found in the Dawnstar Sanctuary. This is not just a simple note. It is a heartbreaking chronicle of a good man's mind shattering. Cicero was not always a jester. He was a professional deadly assassin for the Dark Brotherhood in Cheydinhall. But when the last listener died, the Night Mother fell silent. The Brotherhood in Cyrodiil crumbled. Cicero, as the keeper, was left alone. For years. Just him, in an empty, silent tomb with a corpse. The entries show his slow, agonizing descent. He tries to keep his spirits up. He tries to be a good keeper. But the silence is too much. He begins to hear laughter. The Night Mother, he believes. To cope with the isolation and the deafening silence, he finds an old jester's outfit. He takes on the jester's persona, reasoning that if he is a fool, then the madness and the laughter make sense. His entire grating personality is a mask, a desperate, failed psychological defense against a loneliness so profound it broke his sanity. He's not just a fool, he's a tragic, broken survivor, the last loyal son of a dead family. This adds a profound layer of tragedy to his every annoying giggle. He is a living, breathing, dancing testament to the cost of true devotion. Cicero's madness is a singular flavour of loyalty. It is potent, it is useful, but it is also profoundly taxing. The relentless giggling, the manic dancing, the smell of old jester cloth and tomb dust. After weeks of this, the Dragonborn's nerves are frayed. They may find themselves craving the exact opposite. They don't just want silence, they want serenity. They want a companion who is calm, wise, and morally upright. Someone who doesn't sing songs about stabbing. This quest for a stable, perhaps even righteous partner, leads them to the cold northern port city of Dawnstar. The city is grim, a place of snowdrifts and worried whispers. The people are plagued by terrible shared nightmares. They cannot sleep. They are exhausted, irritable, and terrified. They blame a Daedric prince, Vermina, the weaver of bad dreams, and in the local inn, the Windpeak, they find one man trying to solve the problem. He is a priest, clad in the simple brown robes of Mara, the goddess of love and compassion. His name is Arandur. Arandur is a Dunmer, but he lacks the typical cynicism of his people. He speaks with a calm, desperate urgency. He knows the source of the nightmares, the nearby Nightcaller Temple, where priests of Vermina once trafficked in dreams. He believes a ritual has been reactivated, and he must venture inside to stop it. But he cannot go alone. He needs a guard, someone to watch his back while he performs the rites of Mara. This is the core in-game fact of his recruitment. He asks the Dragonborn for help, and for the duration of the quest Waking Nightmare, he becomes a temporary follower. He is by default a priest class. He carries a mace and is a capable destruction mage, casting spells like Firebolt and Sparks. But his true utility is immediately apparent. When he takes damage, he will stop, back away, and cast a fast healing spell on himself. He is a self-sufficient combatant. The two of them delve into the temple. It is a dark, unsettling place, filled with sleeping priests and the strange, arcane miasma that has kept them in a living nightmare for decades. As they go deeper, Arandur's story begins to unravel. He seems to know too much about this place. He knows the layout. He knows the rituals. He knows the names of the priests. The Dragonborn, pressing him for details, forces a confession. This is the quest's great twist, and our obscure lore tidbit. Arandur was not always Arandur. Decades ago, his name was Kashmir. He was not a priest of Mara. He was a priest of Vermina and a worshipper in this very temple. When orc invaders stormed the fortress, he and his fellow cultists, in a desperate act of self-preservation, released the miasma, a magical gas that put everyone to sleep. But in a moment of pure, blinding panic, Kashmir fled. He abandoned his brothers and sisters, his post, and his god, scrambling out of the temple just as the miasma took hold. He is the sole, cowardly survivor. His entire life since, his Conversion to Mara, his priesthood, his quest to destroy the skull, is one long, desperate act of atonement. He is not just stopping a Daedric artifact, he's trying to redeem a life defined by a single, catastrophic failure of courage. This revelation hangs in the air as they reach the temple's heart. They find two of Erandur's former colleagues, Thorek and Veren, still awake and defending the artifact, the Skull of Corruption. After a pitched battle, the skull is within reach, and the ritual to destroy it is underway. But Vermina, the Daedric prince herself, speaks to the Dragonborn. She offers them a deal. "He is a traitor," she whispers. "He tried to destroy my skull. Now, he will die for his treason. Kill him. Kill him, and the skull is yours." The Dragonborn is faced with a choice. They can murder Erandur as he prays, claiming a powerful Daedric artifact that feeds on dreams, or they can defend him, allowing him to complete his ritual and destroy the skull forever. If the Dragonborn chooses the path of redemption, if they stand by him and let him finish his quest, the skull is obliterated. Erandur, breathing heavily, turns to the Dragonborn, his eyes filled with a profound, weary gratitude. He is finally free. He pledges his life and his service to the Dragonborn for free as a permanent follower. This is where the great fan community debate begins. Is Erandur a healer? Players see a priest of Mara, they see him cast fast healing, and they immediately assume he will be a support cleric, a pocket healer who will mend their wounds in battle. This is unfortunately not the case. Erandur's healing spells are coded for self only. He will never heal the Dragonborn. He will never heal Lydia, or Barbas, or any other companion. He will quite happily stand at full health, hands glowing with restorative magic, and watch the Dragonborn get beaten to death by a mud crab. This has led to countless threads and forums filled with disappointed players asking, "Why won't my healer heal me?" The debate then is whether he is useful at all. The consensus is yes, but not in the way people expect. He is not a support mage, he is a survivable mage. With a level cap of 50, he is a durable long-term companion. Unlike other mages who wear cloth and fold under pressure, Erandur's self-healing makes him incredibly tanky. He can hold his own, giving the Dragonborn crucial breathing room. He's a low-maintenance, fire-and-forget combatant. His utility is his unique blend of skills. He is a hybrid. He wears robes, but he is skilled with a mace. He will cast firebolt and sparks, but he will also wade into melee. He is a rare follower who seems to understand how to stay alive. He is, in essence, the anti-Mercurio. He is not an arrogant team-killing glass cannon. He is a humble, sturdy, and self-reliant battle priest. He's also a walking, talking story of redemption. Travelling with him is a constant reminder that even the most cowardly soul can find courage, that even a life dedicated to a dark god can be rewritten. He's a genuinely good person, one of the few in the bleak world of Skyrim. He's a source of calm, thoughtful, and often wise dialogue. He is the perfect palate cleanser after the madness of Cicero. He is useful not because he heals the Dragonborn's body, but because he is living proof that a person can heal their own soul. Erandur's tale is one of slow, painful atonement, a life spent trying to undo a single moment of cowardice. He is a man who found peace and servitude to Mara, and his utility to the Dragonborn is that of a calm, steady, self-reliant priest. But not all mages who fall from grace are seeking such a quiet redemption. Some are not running from their past. They are trapped in a nightmare they cannot escape, and their only way out is not prayer, but blood. The Dragonborn, in their endless wandering, finds themselves in the far southern reaches of the Rift. Deep in the mountains near the Cyrodiilic border, it is a desolate, snowy place, and a tower of dark stone juts from the rock like a diseased tooth. This is Darklight Tower. As the Dragonborn approaches, a woman in simple mage robes, her face a mask of panic, runs out to meet them. Her name is Ilia. She is frantic, She says her mother is inside, that her mother is a witch, the leader of a coven, and that today they are performing a ritual to turn Ilya into a hagraven, a ritual she wants no part of. She needs help, not to save her mother but to kill her. This is the quest, repentance. It is a dark, brutal, and deeply personal affair. Ilya, like Aranda, becomes a temporary follower for the duration of the quest, and like Aranda, her combat prowess is immediately, startlingly, apparent. But where Aranda is a balanced priest, Ilya is a focused, terrifying weapon. This is her core in-game fact. Ilya is one of the most powerful specialised cryomancers, or ice mages, in all of Skyrim. She's not a mage, she's a piece of long-range artillery. Her spell list is a blizzard of destruction. She wields Ice Spike, Ice Storm, and, most terrifyingly, Icy Spear. This is an expert-level spell. It is a bolt of pure, jagged ice that flies at high velocity, deals massive damage, and slows any target it hits. The Dragonborn, who at this point may just be learning how to cast a basic firebolt, can only watch in awe as Ilya one-shots witches and frostbite spiders, impaling them to the stone walls with crystalline lances. She could, quite honestly, probably teach the entire College of Winterhold a thing or two about the practical lethal application of frost magic. She and the Dragonborn fight their way up the tower, a grim, winding ascent through rooms filled with hags, more witches, and the dark paraphernalia of their coven. Ilya is a whirlwind of ice, shattering every enemy in her path. But as they climb, her panic is replaced with a kind of grim, cold resolve. She's not just here to escape, she's here to perform a mercy killing. They finally reach the summit, a high, open-air platform where the ritual is about to begin, and there, waiting for them, is Petra, Ilya's mother, now a fully transformed, grotesque hagraven. Ilya, her voice trembling but firm, outlines a plan. She asks the Dragonborn to sit in a sacrificial chair to pose as the offering. It is a ruse. The moment Petra turns her back, Ilya blasts her with a full-power icy spear. The fight is immediate and brutal, Ilya and the Dragonborn against a hagraven and her remaining coven. When the last witch falls, Ilya stands, breathing heavily, over the smoking, frozen corpse of the thing that was once her mother. She is an orphan, a matricide, and a survivor, and with nowhere else to go, she offers her formidable, blood-soaked services to the Dragonborn. This is where her utility truly begins, and where the great community debate about her rages. Ilya is, without question, an S-tier follower. Her level cap is 40, and she will fire those icy spears with the force and frequency of an anti-tank rifle. She will destroy dragons, she will stagger giants, and she will annihilate entire rooms of Draugr before the Dragonborn has even drawn their sword. But she comes with a price, a terrible, game-breaking, infamous price. She is, quite possibly, the most bugged follower in the entire game. Players across the world for over a decade have learned this the hard way. If you ever dismiss Ilya, her follower dialogue is permanently erased from the game. If you tell her, it's time for us to part ways, she will leave, and she will never ever follow you again. If a quest auto-dismisses her, like starting a core quest for the Companions or the Dawn Guard, she is gone forever. She is the ultimate high-commitment relationship in Skyrim. You cannot ask her to wait here for more than a few days. You cannot ask her to go home and pick her up later. The moment she is recruited, she is with you for life, or she is gone. The community is a sea of tragic stories from players who lost her and could never get her back, their self-file forever marked by that one simple mistake. This tragic, bug-ridden existence is a sad parallel to the dark magic she escaped. The obscure lore tidbit of her story is the very nature of what a hagraven is. One does not simply become a hagraven. It is a ritual of profound, nightmarish self-mutilation. A witch, seeking greater power, must trade her humanity to a Daedric prince, often Hircine or Molag Bal. The ritual involves cutting out her own human heart and replacing it with a hagraven claw, a magical dead focus. This act severs her from her mortal life, twists her body into a grotesque parody of a bird and a woman, and grants her immense wild magic. But it also shatters her mind, filling it with a predator's rage, a lust for flesh, and a deep, bottomless spite. This is what Petra did. This is what she intended for her own daughter. Ilia did not just kill her mother. She killed the monstrous thing that had stolen her mother's body, the creature that would have done the same to her. The quest. Repentance is not Ilia repenting for her sins. It is her repenting for the sins of her bloodline, a final violent severing of a corrupt legacy. Her utility, then, is a double-edged spear of pure ice. She's an engine of destruction, a glass cannon who will trivialize many of the game's toughest encounters. Her power is raw, elemental, and deeply satisfying to watch. But she's a fragile asset, and not just in her level 40 cap. She's a piece of code as broken as her own past. To use her, the Dragonborn must commit. They must accept this traumatized matricidal mage as a permanent fixture, a constant, powerful, and deeply tragic shadow at their side, knowing that the moment they ask her to leave, she will be lost to them forever. The tragedy of Ilia is a sharp, bitter lesson for the Dragonborn. Power and utility are meaningless if they are built on a fragile, broken foundation. A follower who is an engine of destruction is useless if they vanish forever because of a simple, innocuous line of dialogue. The Dragonborn, now wary of these brilliant, flawed, and high-maintenance specialists, begins to crave something new. Not just immortality, not just power, but reliability. They need a professional, someone who is stable, who is built to last, and who will not shatter, either in mind or in code. This yearning for simple, dependable strength leads them to a new rumour, one that whispers of an ancient order, reborn. It speaks of vampire hunters, of a fortress in the snowy southern passes of the Rift. It speaks of the Dawnguard. The journey to Fort Dawnguard is a treacherous one up a narrow, winding canyon. The Dragonborn, expecting a grand fortress, finds a half-ruined, crumbling castle, and there, standing guard at the entrance, is an Orsaimer. He's not a savage from a stronghold, he's a ranger. He's clad in the practical, tough-looking armour of the Dawnguard, a crossbow slung over his back. His name is Durak. He is not a manic jester, nor a vengeful priest, nor a traumatised mage. He is a professional. His voice is a no-nonsense rasp, and he sizes up the Dragonborn with an expert eye. He is here to recruit. The vampire menace is growing, and the Dawnguard needs soldiers. He wastes no time with pleasantries. He sees potential warrior, and he gives them the pitch. He is the gatekeeper to one of the most significant quest lines in the Dragonborn's life. After the Dragonborn enters the fort, meets the grim, zealous leader Isran, and proves their worth in their first harrowing encounter with the children of Molag Bal, they are officially inducted into the Order. And with that induction, Durak, along with a few other new recruits, like the stoic Nord Selen and the fierce Redguard Ingjard, becomes available as a follower. And this is where his true, staggering, and often overlooked utility is revealed. This is his core in-game fact. Durak has no level cap. He is one of the very few followers in all of Skyrim who will level with the Dragonborn indefinitely. If the Dragonborn reaches level 50, Durak is level 50. If the Dragonborn pushes to level 100, level 150, level 252, Durak will be right there with them, his stats scaling in perfect lockstep. He is, in essence, a true partner in power. He will never be out-leveled. He will never become a fragile liability who must be babysat. He's a follower built for the entire game, from level 10 to level 100 and beyond. This infinite scaling is not his only utility. He is also, fittingly, an expert-level archery trainer, capable of training the Dragonborn up to skill level 75. This places him squarely between Faendal's free level 50 and Ayla's free level 90. But with Durak, there is a crucial difference. He is not and does exploit. If the Dragonborn pays him the 2,000 septims for a training session, that money is gone. It is absorbed into his character file, not placed in his inventory. He cannot be pickpocketed. He cannot be scammed. He is a professional, and he expects to be paid for his expertise. As a ranger class, he is a master of archery and light armor, making him a devastatingly effective ranged combatant. And, as a member of the Dawn Guard, he comes pre-equipped with a crossbow, one of the most powerful ranged weapons in the game, capable of staggering enemies with every shot. This brings us to the great community debate surrounding him. Why isn't he more popular? He has no level cap. He's an expert trainer. He's a master archer. He's not bugged. He's not morally judgmental about anything other than vampires. By all metrics, he should be on every best follower list. The reason he's often forgotten is simple. He is boring. Durak has almost no unique dialogue. He is the definition of a generic professional soldier. He will not crack jokes like Cicero. He will not offer complex moral quandaries like Aranda. He will not complain about caves or the weather like Serana. He will just follow. He will fight. He will kill. And he will be silent. For many players, this is a deal breaker. They play Skyrim for the characters, the stories, the vibe. A silent, infinitely scaling robot is not a companion. It's just a better than average piece of gear. But for the pure power gamer, the player on legendary difficulty who needs a follower who just works, Durak is a god tier choice. He is vanilla ice cream. He is not exciting, but he will never ever let you down. The obscure lore tidbit about Durak lies in his very existence as an Orsimer. Orcs in Tamriel are defined by their strongholds, their insular, violent culture, and their rigid devotion to the Daedric Prince Malakath, the god of the spurned and the ostracized. An orc outside a stronghold is an outcast, a city orc often looked down upon by his people. But Durak has not just left his stronghold, he has found a new one. He has found a new code. For him, the Dawn Guard is his stronghold, and Isran is his new chieftain. His purpose is no longer the code of Malakath, it is the cleansing of the vampire scourge. This is a common path for outcast Orsimer. They seek structure, purpose, and a cause to fight for, which is why so many join the Imperial Legion. Durak, however, has found a holier cause. His dedication to Isran and the Dawn Guard is more than just loyalty. It is the zealous, all-consuming devotion of a convert, a man who has replaced his old, outcast god with a new righteous mission. He is not just a soldier, he is a paladin of Stendarr, finding his life's meaning in a war that is, for him, a sacred duty. His utility to the Dragonborn is a reflection of this single-minded purpose. He is stable, he is loyal, he is infinitely dependable, and he will never, ever stop until the enemy is reduced to dust. Durak is the perfect soldier. He is an infinitely scaling, professional, and emotionally stable killing machine. He is, in a word, dependable. But Durak is an archer, a man of the crossbow and the light boot. Magic, that strange arcane force that rewrites the laws of reality, is not his trade. The Dragonborn, having mastered the bow and the blade, may begin to feel the pull of the arcane. They have seen the power of Ilia's ice, the arrogance of Mercurio's lightning. They need a magical specialist, but they are tired of low-level caps and game-breaking bugs. They need a mage with the same infinite potential as Durak, a mage who will never be out-leveled. This search leads them, inevitably, to the single, most northern and desolate hold in Skyrim. It leads them to the city of Winterhold, a crumbling ruin clinging to the edge of a frozen cliff, and perched on a lone pinnacle of rock, accessed by a high, wind-whipped bridge, is the College of Winterhold. Inside, the air smells of ozone, ancient dust, and a faint, unsettling trace of sulphur. This is the last great bastion of magic in a land that distrusts it. Here, among the nervous Nords, the quiet Dunmer, and the studious Altmer, the Dragonborn finds a cat. He is a Khajiit, clad in the standard, scratchy-looking apprentice robes, and he is a supernova of misplaced confidence. His name is J'zargo. He does not walk, he prowls. He does not speak, he proclaims. He refers to himself, always, in the third person. J'zargo is ready for this, he'll say. J'zargo will be the one to master these arts. He is, from the very first moment, completely, pathologically, and hilariously ambitious. He immediately sizes up the Dragonborn, not as a potential friend, but as the competition. He is here to be the best, and this newcomer is just another obstacle on his path to becoming Archmage. After the Dragonborn has proven they aren't a complete novice, J'zargo approaches them. He has a little experiment. He's been working on something special, something that will prove his genius. He's created a new kind of magic scroll, a flame cloak spell that is much stronger than the standard one. He just needs someone to test it for him. On the undead. He hands the Dragonborn 10 of these scrolls, his voice a purr of false modesty. This is the quest, J'zargo's experiment, and it is the single most debated follower quest in the game. The Dragonborn, trusting their fellow apprentice, delves into a crypt. They find a Draugr. They unroll one of J'zargo's scrolls. The scroll ignites, and for a glorious second, a cloak of fire envelops them, and then, kaboom! A massive, uncontrolled explosion of fire erupts from the Dragonborn, vaporizing the Draugr, setting the crypt on fire, and instantly incinerating about 90% of the Dragonborn's health. The scrolls are not just stronger, they are in essence wearable bombs. They are lethally, suicidally flawed. This is the great community debate. Did J'zargo know? Is he just a comically inept enchanter who made a terrible explosive mistake? Or is he a cold, calculating and sociopathic rival who just handed the Dragonborn 10 magical pipe bombs and told them to go play in the tombs? The evidence for most of the community points squarely to the latter. His ambition is his entire personality. He saw the Dragonborn, the new prodigy who was absorbing dragon souls and impressing the masters, and he tried to eliminate them. He saw his chief rival, and with a smile and a purr handed them the tools for their own destruction. When the Dragonborn returns, perhaps missing their eyebrows and smelling faintly of ash, and tells him his scrolls exploded, J'zargo's response is not horror. It is not apology. It is disappointment. Ah, he muses. So they are not safe. J'zargo is not surprised. But he is disappointed. This will slow his research. He is not sorry he almost killed you. He's annoyed that his murder weapon didn't work as planned. Despite this, he is impressed. The Dragonborn survived. Clearly they are a powerful rival, and as any good Khajiit knows, it is better to have a powerful, unkillable rival at your side than in front of your blade. He offers his services to learn from this Dragonborn. And why would the Dragonborn accept? For one simple, beautiful, game-breaking reason. This is J'zargo's core in-game fact. He has no level cap. Just like Durak and Frea, this smug, ambitious cat will level with the Dragonborn forever. He is, on paper, the most powerful and durable mage follower in the game. As the Dragonborn climbs to level 80, 90, 100, J'zargo is right there with them, his own pool of health, magicka and stamina scaling to match. He is also, bizarrely, a master of heavy armour and one-handed skills. This makes him an accidental battle mage, a heavily armoured sword-wielding Khajiit who also happens to throw high-level destruction spells. He is an unkillable, infinitely scaling magical Swiss Army knife. This brings us to his obscure lore tidbit. A Khajiit at the College of Winterhold is a profound rarity. Khajiiti magical traditions are ancient, but they are different. They are often tied to the lunar lattice, the phases of the moons Jode and Joan, which Khajiit believe dictate their very forms. Their mages are often mystics, moon priests or claw dancers who weave magic and martial arts. J'zargo's presence at the college, studying the human and mere traditions of magic, is a sign of his towering, almost heretical ambition. He's not just trying to be a good mage, he's trying to prove that a Khajiit, a race stereotyped by the rest of Tamriel as nothing more than thieves, skooma addicts and carpet salesmen, can beat the civilized races at their own game. His arrogance is a shield. His third-person proclamations are a declaration of war against a world that expects him to be nothing. He must be the best, because to be anything less is to confirm the prejudice of all of Tamriel. This, perhaps, is why he was so quick to try and blow up the Dragonborn. It wasn't just personal, it was business. In practice, his utility is a source of endless comedy. He has all this infinite power, all this potential, and his AI is famously selective. Players will watch in baffled amusement as their level 80 J'zargo, who should be casting Incinerate or Thunderbolt, will instead happily charge a Dragon Priest and shoot sparks from his fingers, a spell a level 1 apprentice would be embarrassed to use. He's a nuclear submarine who insists on firing bottle rockets. He's a tactical genius who loves to use a dull knife. He is a walking, talking paradox. He is, without question, one of the most useful and powerful followers in the game, but only if the Dragonborn has the patience of a saint, and the good sense to never, ever turn their back on him. J'zargo is a paradox. He is an infinitely powerful mage who prefers to punch frost trolls. He is a companion of limitless potential, and thanks to his flawed AI, almost zero reliability. He is, in short, a cat. The Dragonborn, having perhaps left him at the college to research more imaginary spells, eventually tires of the mainland. They have bested dragons, they have led guilds, but a new, darker rumour has begun. Cultists, their faces hidden by grotesque metal masks, have been attacking the Dragonborn, claiming they are a false hero. Their trail leads to a ship in the Windhelm docks and a journey across the sea to the dark, ashy and alien island of Solstheim. The Dragonborn lands in the port of Raven Rock. The air is thick with the smell of soot and the sea. The architecture is all chitin and curved, Dunmerry strangeness. This is Morrowind, and in the local inn, the Retching Netch, they find the perfect encapsulation of this new land. A warrior, brash, professional, and dripping with personality. He stands by the bar, clad head to toe in exotic tan-coloured chitin armour, his face completely obscured by a full helm. His name is Teldrin Sero. He is, like Mercurio and Janassa, a mercenary, but he is immediately obviously a different breed. He's not a desperate mage in a backwater town. He is a professional adventurer, and he knows exactly what he's worth. He boasts of his exploits in Black Marsh, of his skill with blade and spell. He offers his services for 500 septims, and unlike any other mercenary, his sales pitch is actually good. This is his core in-game fact. Teldrin Sero is a spell sword, and he is one of the most powerful high-level followers money can buy. His level cap is 60. This is 10 levels higher than Lydia, 20 higher than Mercurio, and 30 higher than Faendal. He is an endgame, premium-grade companion, and his utility is not just one skill, it is his perfect, devastating versatility. He is a true hybrid. The moment a fight begins, Teldrin Sentry 1's first act is to cast Conjure Flame Atronach. Just like that, the battle is now a 3-on-1. He then follows up with destruction spells like Fireball, blasting enemies from a distance. And when an enemy finally closes the gap, he draws his Elven Sword and meets them in melee, his light armour skill making him a fast, evasive duelist. He is in essence an entire adventuring party rolled into one sarcastic Dunmer. He is a conjurer, a destruction mage, and a one-handed warrior. For a dragonborn of any class, Teldrin is the perfect complement. He can provide the range support for a warrior, the melee vanguard for a mage, and the fiery distraction for an assassin. His AI is brilliant. He is not a buggy, confused mess like J'zargo. He executes his combat script flawlessly. Summon, blast, slash. This makes him, pound for pound, one of the most effective followers in the entire game. He will systematically dismantle enemy groups with an efficiency that is both beautiful and terrifying to watch. His utility is his competence. He is a professional, and he is worth every single coin. But his combat skill is, incredibly, only half his value. This leads to the great community debate. Is Teldrin Zero the single best follower in Skyrim? Many players argue yes. He is not essential like Serana. He does not have an infinite level cap like J'zargo, but he has something neither of them possess in such quantity. Personality. Teldrin Zero is, without question, the most talkative and engaging generic follower in the game. He has a massive, unique pool of dialogue. He will comment on the Dragonborn's journey. He will offer his thoughts on every major city in Skyrim, often with a sarcastic Dunmary spin. Whiterun is a fine city, he'll muse, though I'd trade it all for a whiff of ash from the Red Mountain. Windhelm, a city of snow and suspicion. It suits the Nords. He will complain in caves, marvel at Dwemer ruins, and brag about his past exploits. He feels alive. He's not a silent pack mule. He's a partner, a companion who feels like he's on the journey with you. The debate then is whether his level 60 cap is a deal breaker. The consensus is a resounding no. Most players would rather have a follower who caps at 60 but feels like a real person than an infinitely scaling, silent and buggy follower who just feels like a piece of gear. This personality is tied directly to his obscure lore tidbit, his helmet. Teldrin Zero never takes off his Heightin helmet. Ever. The Dragonborn can give him a legendary enchanted dragonplate helmet, and he will politely ignore it. The only way to make him change his headgear is to give him another helmet that also completely conceals his face, like a nightingale hood or a full Daedric helm. This has led to a decade of fan theories. Why? What is he hiding? The most popular theory is that he is horrifically disfigured. He boasts of adventuring in Black Marsh, the deadly swampy homeland of the Argonians, a people who, for millennia, were enslaved by his own. He speaks of a brave Argonian who fought with him. Perhaps this friendship ended badly. Perhaps he was captured, tortured, and branded by Argonians who did not share his progressive views. Or perhaps it's simple vanity. Perhaps he's hiding a terrible scar. Or perhaps, in the most mundane theory, he is just bald and deeply ashamed of it. The helmet is a permanent, tantalizing mystery, a sign that for all his boasts, this loud-mouthed mercenary has a secret he will never, ever share. He is a walking contradiction, the most open and talkative follower who is also, quite literally, the most closed off. Teldrin Zero is the professional. He is the clean contract, the 500 gold warrior for hire who delivers exactly what he advertises. Unmatched competence and a running commentary of sarcastic, worldly wise bravado. He is the safe, reliable and powerful choice for a dragonborn exploring the alien landscape of Solstheim. But Solstheim is a land of ash, madness, and buried ancient secrets. And not all opportunities on this island are as clean as a mercenary contract. Some are far, far messier. Some are investments. This new path begins when the Dragonborn leaves the relative safety of Raven Rock and travels south into the grey, ashen wastes. Near the coast, they find a small, unremarkable camp. It is little more than a few bedrolls, a pickaxe, and a single, hopeful Dunmer. He's an archaeologist, a miner, a hopeful entrepreneur named Rallis Sidaris. He's standing at the edge of Kolbjorn Barrow. a Nordic ruin that is almost completely buried in the ash that has rained down from the Red Mountain for centuries. Ralis is brimming with the salesman's optimism. This barrow, he insists, is the discovery. It contains the relics of Azidal, a legendary enchanter from the First Era. It is a treasure trove, a career-making find. There is just one tiny problem. He is broke. He needs a partner, an investor, someone to provide the capital, to hire miners and begin the excavation. He needs 1,000 septims. This is the core in-game fact of Ralis Sedaris. He is, before he is anything else, a walking, talking, relentlessly persistent money sink. The Dragonborn, perhaps intrigued, or perhaps just wealthy and bored, agrees. They hand over the gold. Ralis is overjoyed. He will hire the miners, he says. He will send for the Dragonborn when he's made progress. Days, perhaps a week, pass. A courier finds the Dragonborn in the middle of a different quest. A note hastily scrawled, "We've hit a snag. It's bad. Come to Kolbjorn Barrow, and bring more gold." The Dragonborn returns. The camp is larger. The barrow entrance is partially cleared, but the miners Ralis hired are gone. Ralis himself is frantic. The miners broke through into a chamber, he explains, and Draugr poured out. The miners were slaughtered. It is a tragedy, a terrible setback. But, Ralis says, his eyes gleaming, it's also proof. The Draugr are guarding something. They are on the right track. He just needs 2,000 more septims to hire better miners and some mercenaries for protection. The Dragonborn, now financially and emotionally pot-committed, sighs. They pay. The cycle repeats. A few more days. Another courier. It's happened again. They're all dead. Please come back. We are so close. This time, 3,000 septims. The Dragonborn returns. The barrow is a charnel house. More dead miners. More dead mercenaries. Ralis is covered in blood, but he is ecstatic. He has found relics. He has found the main chambers. He just needs one final push. 5,000 septims. This is the great fan. Community debate that rages around Ralis Sedaris. Is he truly the unluckiest, most incompetent archaeologist in Tamriel? Or is he the single greatest con artist on the continent? The evidence for the latter is compelling. This one Dunmer has convinced the legendary Dragonborn, a demigod who slays dragons and shouts down castle walls, to personally fund his entire operation, to act as his private exterminator, and to hand over a staggering 11,000 septims. And all the while, every single person who might have had a share in the profits, every miner, every mercenary, has been coincidentally slaughtered by the Draugr he just happened to unleash. His tragedy is incredibly convenient. He is a master manipulator who is using the Dragonborn's power and wealth to clear a tomb he could never hope to enter alone. The Dragonborn, paying the final 5,000 gold, delves into the fully excavated barrow. They fight through hordes of Draugr, navigate ancient traps, and finally enter the central chamber. And there, the mask falls. Ralis is standing over a sacrificial altar, chanting in a dark, guttural tongue. The last of the miners are dead at his feet. He is awake, Ralis whispers, his voice not his own. Azidal is free. Ralis, now fully possessed, attacks the Dragonborn as the legendary dragon priest Azidal rises from his sarcophagus. A chaotic battle ensues. When Azidal is finally reduced to a pile of ashen armour, Ralis collapses, groaning. He wakes up. He is horrified. What have I done? The blood! All this blood! He was in my head! He made me kill them! He begs the Dragonborn for his life, pleading that it wasn't him. The Dragonborn is left with a choice: execute this murderer on the spot, or spare the victim of a Daedric-level possession. This is the obscure lore tidbit. The dragon priest he was channeling, Azidal, was not always a monster. He was one of the first and greatest human enchanters, a contemporary of Ysgramor himself. But his quest for knowledge became an obsession. He sought out the elves, the Dwemer, and even the dragons, mastering their magic but losing his sanity. He began sacrificing his own people to fuel his dark enchantments. He became a priest of the dragons, falling into their service. Rallis is a perfect modern-day echo of this story. He too was an ambitious Dunmer seeking forbidden treasure. He too delved too deep, and he too was corrupted by the very power he sought, sacrificing his own people on an altar. The fan theory that he was not possessed but was a con man has a dark counter-theory. He was a con man, but his greed and his proximity to Azadal's tomb made him the perfect willing vessel for the dragon priest's dormant will. The con became a possession. If the Dragonborn spares him, Rallis is overcome with gratitude. He has nowhere to go. Raven Rock would stone him. He offers his life and his blades to the Dragonborn service for free. He is, at last, a follower. And all 11,000 septims are suddenly, staggeringly worth it. Rallis Sedaris is an absolute top-tier offensive powerhouse. His level cap is 60, same as Teldrin, but he is a warrior class and he has a secret. He is one of only 2 followers in the entire game, the other being the Dark Brotherhood Initiate, who has the Dual Flurry perk. This means that when he dual wields, his attack speed is phenomenally fast. Give this repentant killer 2 enchanted daggers or swords, and he becomes a living woodchipper. He will attack with a speed that is a literal blur, slicing enemies to ribbons in seconds. He is the single highest DPS, damage per second follower in the game. The Dragonborn has paid, in blood and gold, for a walking, talking whirlwind of death. He is the ultimate and most expensive, high-risk, high-reward investment in all of Skyrim. Rallis Sedaris is an investment paid in blood and coin. He is an 11,000 septim gamble that pays out in a whirlwind of dual-wielding high-speed death. He is, like Solstheim itself, dark, morally compromised and brutally effective. But the Dragonborn did not come to this grey island to fund a con artist's excavation, no matter how profitable. They came with a purpose. They came to hunt the cultists who tried to assassinate them, to find the source of the dark power that is enslaving the island's population. This grim quest leads them north, away from the Dunmeri city of Raven Rock and the Ashen Wastes, into the pure white snows of the Felsard coast. Here, nestled in the frozen landscape, they find a village that is a living anachronism. It is a place of reindeer, simple wooden longhouses and fur-clad Nords. This is the Skarl village, a home for a tribe of Nords who live a life of primitive spiritual simplicity. But as the Dragonborn approaches, something is terribly wrong. The village is silent, save for a low, ominous chanting. The villagers are all gathered around a strange pulsating shrine, their eyes glazed, their bodies moving in unison as they build something. They're in a trance, enslaved by the will of Miraak. All, that is, save 2. In the centre of the village, a young, fierce-looking woman in unique scaled armour stands guard, her axe in hand. She is protecting her father, Storncrag Strider, the village shaman, who is deep in meditation, trying to hold back the force that has enslaved his people. The woman turns as the Dragonborn approaches, her face a mask of fury and suspicion. "Who are you?" she demands. "Are you with him? With Miraak?" Her name is Frea. She's not a mercenary, she's not a jester, she's a warrior shaman of her people, and she's the last line of defence. The Dragonborn, proving they are also an enemy of Miraak, quickly earns her trust. Storn reveals that Miraak is draining the life from the Allmaker stones of Solstheim, and he needs the Dragonborn to cleanse the Windstone just outside their village. Frea, her father now too weak to leave, insists on coming. "My place is at your side," she says. "We will face this evil together." This is her recruitment, and it is here, on the quest, the Temple of Miraak, that her core in-game fact is laid bare. Frea is, quite simply, a monster. She's a warrior class, and she is one of the only followers in the game who is both essential and has no level cap. Like Durak and Jazago, she will scale with the Dragonborn forever. Like Mule and Cicero, she cannot be killed by any enemy. But unlike all of them, she combines these two traits with a brutally efficient, high-damage combat AI. Frea is one of the only followers who will naturally and enthusiastically dual-wield. Give her 2 strong swords, and she becomes a non-stop, infinitely scaling, unkillable engine of pure destruction. Her utility is not subtle, it is overwhelming. She is the ultimate, no-nonsense melee follower. She will sprint into combat, her dual blades a blur, and simply end it. She also has a smattering of magic. She will use alteration spells like Iron Flesh to bolster her defense, and restoration spells, like Aranda only for herself, to heal any damage she takes before her essential status even matters. She's a completely self-sufficient high-damage tank. She's what Lydia, in her steel-plated dreams, wishes she could be. She is, for a Dragonborn of any level, the single most reliable and devastating melee partner in the entire game. This brings us to the great fan community debate. Is Frea the undisputed best warrior follower? On paper, her stats, unkillable, infinite scaling, dual-wielding, make it an open and shut case. But in practice, she has one quirk. One that drives aesthetic-minded players insane. Her armour. Frea comes clad in her unique light Scarl armour set, and she will not take it off. She is perhaps the most stubborn follower in the game when it comes to her outfit. The Dragonborn, now a legendary hero with a chest full of spare god-tier dragonplate and Daedric armour, will try to give it to her. Frea will look at it, look at her own fur and scale outfit, and ignore it. She will only equip items that have a significantly higher base armor rating than the piece she is already wearing. This means that for most of the game, she is stuck in her default outfit. The debate then is one of style versus substance. Is it worth having the most powerful melee follower in the game if you can't make her look the part? For many, she is a perfect, unkillable partner. For others, she's a frustratingly uncustomizable eyesore who ruins the matching armor look of their adventuring duo. But her stubbornness, her entire identity, is rooted in her obscure lore tidbit, the unique, isolated culture of the Skarl. Frea is not just a Nord, the Skarl are different. They do not worship the 9 divines of the Empire. They do not revere the Aedra, and they utterly despise the Daedra. They worship one entity, the Allmaker. Theirs is a primal, almost animistic faith. They believe the Allmaker created the land, the sea, and the sky, and that they are its stewards. They live in harmony with the land, respecting the gifts it gives them. Their great enemy is not a specific god, but the adversary Thartag, a force of chaos that seeks to corrupt and destroy. This belief system is ancient, predating the arrival of Ysgramor. Frea is not just a warrior. She is a shaman in training, the daughter of the village's spiritual leader. Her fight against Mirak, and by extension his master Hermaeus Mora, is not just a quest. It is a jihad. It is the holy war of her people against the ultimate expression of the adversary. Her refusal to wear Outlander armor is not a bug. It is an expression of her very identity. She is Skarl. She will not be corrupted or changed by the outside world, not even by the well-meaning Dragonborn. She's a pillar of cultural and spiritual integrity, an unshakable, unchangeable, unkillable force of nature. Frea is a force of nature. She is the unkillable, unshakable, and unchangeable warrior of the Skarl, a perfect melee companion who will scale with the Dragonborn into infinity. She is in many ways the statistical pinnacle of what a follower can be. But in the end, her utility is just that, a set of perfect numbers. She is a loyal, powerful, and utterly reliable tool. The Dragonborn, having become a living god, having mastered the Thuum, led the guilds and saved the world, may find themselves at the end of their journey craving something more than just utility. They have had servants, mercenaries, shield siblings, and apprentices. Now they are ready for an equal, and this final search, this quest for a follower who is not just a companion but a protagonist in their own right, leads them back to that fateful fortress of the Dawnguard. It begins, as so many great stories do, with a simple rumour of vampires in a cave. The Dragonborn is sent to Dim Hollow Crypt. It is a dark, cold, unassuming place at first, but as they delve deeper, they find signs of a dark ritual. They fight vampires, skeletons, and a powerful ancient guardian. At the centre of a vast circular chamber, they find a strange black sarcophagus. A mysterious woman is sealed inside, trapped in a magical slumber, her body clutching an elder scroll. The Dragonborn, against all common sense, opens the tomb. The woman awakens, disoriented, her eyes glowing with the soft orange light of a vampire. Her name is Serana, and with that one simple, world-changing act, the Dragonborn has just recruited the single most important, complex, and story-rich follower in all of Skyrim. This is her core in-game fact. Serana is not a follower, she is the follower. She is the central driving engine of the entire Dawnguard questline. She is marked as essential, has a high-level cap of 50, and most importantly, she's the only follower in the game with a truly unique and complex AI. She does not just follow, she sandboxes. She will interact with the world around her, leaning against walls, sitting in chairs, reading books, or even using crafting stations. She has a pool of dialogue larger than most entire questlines, commenting on the weather, the time of day, the city they're in, or the cave they are exploring. She is not a pack mule, she is a character. Her utility is her story. She's the daughter of Lord Harkon, the ancient and terrifying leader of the Volkihar vampire clan. She is the key to the tyranny of the sun, a prophecy that could end the sun itself. The Dragonborn is not just her protector, they are her partner, and her choices will determine not only Serana's fate, but the fate of the world. She is also, in combat, a devastatingly powerful necromancer and cryomancer. She will hurl high-level ice spells and most famously will constantly reanimate the dead. This leads to the great fan community debate that is her eternal legacy. Is Serana's combat AI a gift or a curse? She is a one-woman army, capable of raising a fallen bandit chief to fight for you, but she is indiscriminate. She will reanimate the nearest corpse, which is often the skeletal remains of a mud crab, and not the Draugr Deathlord lying 10 feet away. Even more infamously, she will often reanimate an enemy the Dragonborn just killed, before they had a chance to loot the body. The enemy will fight, and then, because of her specific necromancy, will dissolve into a pile of unlootable ash. She has, without a doubt, been responsible for more lost ebony battle axes and enchanted armours than any other follower in the game. And then there are the complaints. This sun, I hate it. I'm not a fan of caves. They're unpleasant. For some players, she is an endlessly complaining, loot-destroying, combat-obstructing liability. For others, she is the most charming, powerful, and wonderfully flawed character in the game. Her story, her very existence, is the obscure lore tidbit. She is a daughter of Cold Harbour, a title that is far more horrific than it sounds. It does not just mean she is a vampire, it means she is one of a very few women who, in a ritual of unspeakable depravity, was given to the Daedric prince Molag Bal. The ritual, which is a nightmarish parody of a marriage, involves the brutal violation of the mortal by the Daedric prince. Those who survive this union are gifted with pure-blooded vampirism. Serana, her mother Valerica, and her father Harkon all underwent this. Their family is not just a family, it is a triumvirate, a coven, bound together by a shared ancient trauma and a pact with the god of domination. Her father's obsession with the prophecy is not just for power, It is the ultimate arrogant attempt to spite the very plane of oblivion that created him. Serana's story is not one of a simple vampire. It is the story of a survivor of a Daedric rape, a broken child caught between two monstrous power-mad parents who are waging a war that has lasted for millennia. Her utility in the end is not her ice spells or her necromancy. It is her humanity. Despite being an ancient, undead creature, she is the most human follower the Dragonborn will ever find. She's curious, she is sarcastic, she is traumatized, and she's capable of growth. She's the only follower who, at the end of a long dark journey, can be changed by the Dragonborn. She can be convinced to seek a cure for her vampirism, to step back into the sun she once hated, and to find a new life, free from her dark father and her cold, distant mother. She's not a pack mule, she's not a tank, she's not a weapon, she's a friend, and she is the one follower who, when the Dragonborn finally lays down their sword, feels less like a burden they carried, and more like someone who was carrying them right back. And so, our long chronicle of companions comes to a close. The Dragonborn's journey is a solitary one, and yet they are never truly alone. From the simple, scruffy archer in Riverwood to the ancient vampire princess who holds the fate of the sun in her hands, these souls have walked the path with them. They have carried their burdens, yes, but they have also carried their secrets, their triumphs, and their sorrows. They have stood as a bulwark against the darkness, a shield against the fire, and a second blade in the chaos of the fight. And now, as our journey ends, perhaps you can see them, all finding their rest. Faendal is back at his sawmill, forever hoping. Lydia is sitting by the fire in Breezehome, a silent, steady guardian. Jazargo is at the college, still scheming, still dreaming of greatness. And Serana, perhaps she is in Fort Dawnguard, watching the sunrise, finally, truly, at peace. They are no longer just pack mules. They are memories. They are the stories we tell. And as the final fires of the mead hall die down to embers, and the last of the bard's songs fade into the night, they too can rest, their burdens finally laid down. The adventure is over for now, and it is time at last to sleep.